Welcome back, everyone. In this video I'm going to show you how to repair a panel that's stretched, and it really needs to be shrunk with a torch, but you can't take a torch to these new cars anymore. Now, I've got comments before on my heat shrinking video, and somebody will ask, well, what do you do when it's stretched and you can't use a torch? I'm going to show you my technique, how I do it. I probably got about 90% success rate on these. It's rare that I can't get a panel straightened how I want it. Let me show you what I got here. Okay, I've got this door here, and it's got a pretty good dent in it right here, and it's fairly deep. I know if I get underneath and bump it up, it's going to be up too far. So it'll have like a goose egg in there, and it'll probably oil can. And just trying to hammer and dolly and pick this up, I think it's going to overstretch it. Let me push it up from the bottom and we'll see what it does. Okay, I'm going to take my heavy toe dolly and I'm going to get underneath it and just bump it up and see what happens. Yeah, it oil cans. Once I get it to stay up, it's raised up quite a bit. You can see how the straight edge rocks on there. So let me explain what I'm going to do to get this straight. Okay, what needs to be done on this high spot needs to be spread out over a bigger area. I'm going to take and do some hammer and dolly, and it's going to be off the dolly, hammering on the whole thing. And I'm going to take some of this dent, this high spot, and it's going to get distributed all the way around it. And what it'll do, it'll still be a little bit high when I'm done, not quite as high now, but it blends the whole thing in. And the easiest way to explain this, it's like if a painter can't get a color to match, the easiest thing to do is blend into the next panel. Now, by blending, you're not changing the color, but you're tricking the eye into thinking it matches. So what we're going to do here is spread this around. We're going to float that thing all out using the sheet metal here. Won't use a whole lot of filler on it, and it's going to trick the eye into thinking that it's nice and straight, but we're just spreading the damage over a broader area. It'll blend in that way. What I want to do, I've got the same dolly. I'm going to push up on it all the way around, little at a time, while I'm tapping on this high spot. And that will kind of distribute the high spot. It'll take this down some, but it more or less just camouflages it, and it'll blend it all in. And I can tell where my dolly is by hammering on it. Listen for the noise. There, I'm off of it. You can hear how it hits nice and solid. So I'm going to start pushing on it and hammer on this high spot a little bit. And it's got an oil can to it, but we'll worry about that as we go. There's my dolly right there. I'm going to put some pressure on the bottom of this dent. And there is no really set pattern to do it. I'm just kind of looking at how it's dented and moving around what I think is best. Every dent's going to be different. I'm going to take my dolly, push up on this. I want to get rid of that oil can. I want it to stay high. Okay, I switched to my long pick hammer, and what I want to do, I'm going to put this dolly on there, and I don't want to really put any pressure, and I want to start picking up a little bit on both sides here. Okay, it's actually pretty solid. It's not caving in, so I'm taking the oil can out of it. All right, it's looking better. I'm going to push on the dolly from underneath right in here. I'll start hammering on this, see if I can bring that down some. Okay, it's still high, so now I want to concentrate a little bit more on this without getting at the oil can again. I thought I'd be able to get most of this with doing off dolly hammering, pushing up on the surrounding area and hammering on this, and it didn't work in this case. That's why I switched to the pick hammer to try and pick this up around here. And one way to think of this is not that this is a high spot, but think of it that everything around it is low. So by the time you start moving all this metal back up, this is going to drop down a little bit and it's going to taper everything in. And it's looking better, and I can tell this technique is working because back up above it is nice and flat, but I get fairly close to the dent, not where the dent really was, and I can see that it's high here, which is what I was aiming for, and when I come down below the dent, it's high right there. Everywhere else, it seems to be pretty flat. Okay, there's a reinforcement running right through here and I can't get the hammer up close enough. So I'm going to use this little trim tool, wedge it between the reinforcement and the back of the door skin, and then I can just roll it and pick it up with that. Okay, and like I said, it's still a little high, but it's spreading the damage out over a bigger area. I'm going to work on the center just a little bit more right in here. Okay, it does an oil can. With the straight edge, you can tell it's high, but when you run your hand over it, you can't feel it like you could before. You can see all these little pick marks. They go all the way around here, and that's actually working the outside back up. Okay, the door is feeling pretty good right now. If I was gonna finish this door completely, I'd probably spend maybe another 15 minutes going over it a little bit more with the pick and the dolly, just to double check everything. But basically, it's ready to sand this down with the DA and put Bondo on it. So yes, you can repair a panel if it's stretched, if it's got an oil can to it, and it's up too high without using a torch to heat shrink it. And it's nothing that you can just pick up overnight or watch this video and then tomorrow you can do it yourself. This takes a lot of practice, and you start with small dents first and see how they go before you get into something bigger. But yeah, it is possible. It's like I said, it's not for everyone. What makes it a little bit easier on this door here, it's right in the center and there was access to the bottom. Now, the closer you get to an outside edge, it's going to be tougher and tougher because you have to have room to work that dent all the way around. You can't go any farther than that edge. And if you've got a high spot within about 3 or 4 inches of, say, a front edge of a door, it's tough to do. And I've done it before. They take a little bit longer. And I know you're probably thinking, why can't you just put Bondo on it and just take your Bondo out farther? Well, that high spot was still fairly high, so you're going to end up with a pretty good crown to it. It may be noticeable when it's painted. This way, I eliminated a lot of that. Not all of it. You won't get all of it out, but we can eliminate that. It'll make the Bondo work go a lot easier. So yeah, it can be done, but it is tricky. Did we learn anything from this video? Yeah, we learned some of these dents really suck. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you think I just wasted my time. Is it easier just to fill it, replace it, whatever. And remember, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.